When Drake says he's a war general, I beg y'all to please listen because he's not lying. I remember I posted this last April before Drake dropped any diss tracks, before J. Cole dropped any diss tracks. It was just like that out. And I said, look, I'm honestly starting to think that Cole and Drake put this whole thing in motion years ago because they know this is the only way to draw Kendrick for battle at this point of their careers. The features, the tour, and the entire first and second portrayal between them, a lot of people saying Kendrick is trying to bait Cole and Drake when he actually took their bait and responded with like that. Everyone and their mom was calling me crazy, said I ain't know something, I was reaching, just shut up. I know this may come as a surprise to y'all K-bots, but a lot of Drake fans actually love hip-hop and listen to rap for the lyrics. And I've been tuned into all three of these guys for a decade plus. And with that, I'm aware of all the jabs they've been taking at each other. And from that, I know that Drake has known about this for years. Like if y'all don't remember the original version of Push Ups that leaked, Drake said at the end, you had a song for 4 years. Drop that shit and shut your mouth. If this was in 2024, that means Drake knew about the Not Like Us or whatever Meet the Grams track for 4 years since 2020, bruh. Kendrick was still at TDE in 2020, and he knew about the diss track since then. And as soon as Kendrick says something about a daughter, Drake having another kid, I knew he was lying about everything. Because if you listen to Sandra's Rose, Drake said, bury me and I'll be born again. I walk in godly form amongst the mortal men. I got some real demons across the border fence and made a note of the mistakes we can't afford again. This was the album he dropped after the Pusha T beef, where Pusha T exposed that he had a son. Y'all think that Drake, who rapped this literally 4 months after the Pusha T beef, would have a situation where he gets caught with the illegitimate child again by Kendrick Lamar? Bruh, like, when I heard Kendrick say that, I was like, yo, this dude is cooked. He's really lying, bruh. And I used to have respect for Kendrick. But when I saw it and I knew what was going on, I was like, wow, he is a bum and a snake, bruh. And I knew this bar, I walk in godly form amongst the mortal men, this was a direct response to Kendrick's track on To Pimp a Butterfly, Mortal Man. And guess what he said in that song? If I'm tried in a court of law, if the industry cut me off, if the government want me dead, plant in my car, would you judge me a drug head or see me as K. Lamar? Or question my character and degrade me on every blog? Yo, this dude is the true master manipulator. He been softening y'all up for the news that's gonna break about him for 10 years. This came out in 2015. Mr. Morale was his expose on himself so that he can re-enter the public eye before it came out in another fashion. So now he can say, I'm not your savior, and yeah, I cheated on Whitney. He not gonna really break everything out. He even said in the interview before that album came out, he did not want to put it out because it was too vulnerable. Maybe because it exposed who he really is. Yo, this dude is... Now next, and I'm really trying to break it down for y'all. So Drake in April of this year leaked Waiting to Exhale. When a Drake track leaks, 99.8% of the time, it's Drake leaking it himself. His team is like this. One of the best teams in music history. They got this shit on lock. This track leak, which was originally for Her Loss, which dropped in 2022. And on this track, he mentioned the 4-year-old diss track.
And his sweat fell. Hey, did little mama dirty, but I meant well. Yeah, I ain't wanna fuck, I wanted intel. Yeah, baby, it's a war, in case you can't tell. Cream inside the lala with the handheld. This track sounded like some fan mail.
What?
All that preparation and the plan failed. Dashboard digi like a trap scale. Your right hand man grew a rat tail.
Like, I'm trying to tell y'all, Drake knew what was going on, and he knew that Universal had a hand in it. And you know who else knew? Kendrick, because he was a part of the whole plot, and his loudmouth ass even says so.
Baby, yes, America got a problem. Geeked up, choosy lover that chose violence. Universal, please don't play possum. I'm a businessman, doing that's follow. Truthfully, I be lying in my rap song. Cause I always felt a mission, I snap on me. His career didn't come with no life insurance. Hope his day one fans got some.
So then the diss tracks go back and forth, and Drake says in Family Matters, we already know it's a 20v1. We already know why you went #1. It's clearly because of the boy. The honorable thing is to give me the loot. Drake and his team knew what was going on with UMG's sneaky movements. They knew that they were going to use Kendrick. They know that it was already rigged against him. And they knew what the outcome of the beef would be, bruh. I'm telling y'all, Drake knew what was going on. J. Cole knew what was going on. And they acted accordingly. That's why J. Cole just got out of his deal with UMG, blessed the whole Dreamville, still sitting good, and it still has a heavily anticipated album coming. Drake is putting belt to ass on UMG. UMG, bruh. in court as a singular artist and still finding a way to drop hit songs and top the charts. Meanwhile, Kenny is looking wild on tour. He looking stressed, and all that money he's getting after he splits with SZA, after he pays UMG, after he pays Live Nation, and after he pays for the expenses of a stadium tour is gonna have to go to a lawsuit. So when Drake said, I'm a fucking hitmaker, dog, not a peacemaker. Yeah, that I'm stuffing in each chamber, yeah, as an extreme danger. Stop buying views and bot comments. You may as well keep the paper. Shit you bought a need for later, bro. Like, he was surgically walking this nigga down, bro. And y'all got gassed up and propagandized to believe that Kendrick really out-rapped and out-strategized Drake. That's when y'all was getting me. Y'all said he out-strategized him because he dropped Not Like Us. I just forgot we live with a bunch of NPCs that will fall for that. But if you really into hip-hop, lyrics, rap, and good music, you knew who won the beef. And even this, Drake saying, I'm a fucking hitmaker, dog, not a peacemaker. Every line means something. He's saying, look, UMG needs me. I am a hit maker. He's saying he's the one that pays the bills and keeps the lights on at UMG, while Kendrick, even with bots, can never match Drake's level of revenue generation. Kendrick hasn't had a hit without mentioning Drake or without SZA, who was also botted, bro. Like, I'm telling you, like last year, I knew what I was saying was facts, but there was just so much noise and bot activity online, it really was just going to the void. But now that I found the community and now that the truth is coming to light, bro, I'm feeling great. Like I said, I'm working on a new series coming soon. It's going to be dissecting a lot of Drake's bars, focusing on how a lot of them turned out to be premonitions for what is to come. And, you know, just the deeper levels behind it. Because a lot of people say Drake doesn't have substance in his raps, when literally he has substance in his raps, substance in his songs, substance in his Instagram captions, substance in the lawsuit statements. Like, it's everywhere. So we going to get into that. But for now, I just had to clear this up a little bit because the K-Box is just not giving up. God damn.